Awesome, Kaylee. Thank you so much. And that's right. We join Clarissa Hawes now as we jump into our top story, talking about Apex Capital. Clarissa, thanks for joining us this morning. What's been going on here? Can you give us a quick overview of this whole situation?
Sure. Thanks for having me on this morning. Apex is, from what I learned over the weekend, they are slowly getting their systems up and running again. Still, they're testing their systems and mainly focused on their mobile app to try to get that going, but they're still trying to figure out if there's any additional like malware in their systems that they need to watch for. But I've heard that over the weekend that the TCS, the fuel part of it, that truckers were able to go ahead and they kind of have a prepaid discount fuel card. So trucking companies or independent truckers were able to put money on their cards to be able to fuel their trucks. So some had to park for a few days because of this issue. And so they're slowly getting back up and running, but it is going to be a slow go as they ensure that there's no additional problems, in the system.
Last week, there was some kind of speculation going on about who was responsible for this malware attack and what their demands were, what they were expecting to get out of the attack as well. Has there been any clarity revealed on what the expectations were on type of ransom or what they were hoping to gain out of this attack?
Well, in talking to a threat analyst, he definitely said that their hope is that multiple companies, even if Apex says no, don't negotiate, which is the standard from law enforcement agencies, is even if you pay this a ransom or whatever their demand is, there's no guarantee that they're not going to keep that data and release it anyway. They're criminals. They have no incentive to follow, the deal, like the rules, the negotiation process. And so, that's where it is. And I was, on Twitter, and I don't know if it was a joke. The tweet has since been taken down by another factoring company, a startup, that said, hey, we can't afford the $200K to get this data, but we'd love to get our hands on it. Like if you'd be willing to give it to us, and so I saw it, another factoring company, not Apex, but another guy that he said, this is kind of what you deal with some companies in the factoring space. And they sent, screenshot it to me. And then within like 20 minutes, it was taken down. So it didn't have the effect, it may have been a joke, but, it was, very insensitive at a time when, you can't fund your customers and truck drivers can't get fuel. So it was poor timing, and on that one, but.
Clarissa, definitely a lot of variables still exposed here.
Yes. And Apex hasn't confirmed it sounds like they're building their systems from the ground up, which is what, law enforcement recommends, that instead of paying it to possibly have your data back, but then have it released again. And they're still not, specifying exactly what data was stolen from their computers or their systems, which is something that trucking companies are very interested in. And what kind of, do they need to change their bank account information? Do they need to, what kind of information could these hackers have? And so that's kind of the fear right now.
Sounds like there's still a lot of unknowns going on right now, Clarissa. Is there any kind of estimate of how long they'll take to get back to maybe fully 100% operational and everything's just back and up and running again?
They've been very vague on when, because it's hard to know exactly when they'll be up and running, but just that, hey, we're working on this, we're working around the clock, message, that we are testing our mobile app to see if that's going to be usable, and they're still doing manual funding for a lot of their customers. They're trying to make sure that everybody is taken care of. It just not in the normal speed, which happens. So there's additional manual efforts that they're doing right now, just to as the IT and other companies that come in to help companies when these types of events happen are identifying possible threats and other issues.
All right, Clarissa, well, we appreciate you keeping your thumb on this, and we'll be watching for updates to the story as we head throughout the rest of the week. We will talk to you again soon.
Okay, thanks so much.